Fran,
Jackie.
it's been a long time we've known each other, and
Yeah.
I've known you as a highly successful head of highly successful church schools, as well as a wonderful human being. You've been running for a significant amount of time your Single Academy Trust, and now you're part of LAT. So tell me a bit about why.
It was a strategic decision, really. I think we'd talked about the future of the school and the sustainability of the school and what that looked like, and actually being part of a bigger family, or a tribe, as you call it, a family of schools where we can benefit from all that experience was very attractive. And, it's about thinking about how we future-proof the education for children for the future. And we knew we were in a good position, but it was about maintaining that stability and sustainability, I think, as a school.
It must have been scary. What were you most scared about?
Losing control, I think,
Yeah.
if I'm really honest, because as a head of a Single Academy Trust, you're driving that, and you've got your finger on the button of everything that's going on. And change can be a little kind of worrying if you don't know what that looks like on the other side. But I think, as leaders, we need to see change as a positive move. When we're working with highly experienced, people like yourselves, it's about working together to get the best for our children. And it's about leading staff through that. And we're at the early stages, aren't we, at the moment?
Yes.
Aren't we? It's still all change. I know there's still a lot to explore and settle, but I know that it's going to be good. It's going to be a good future, and it's going to benefit our school and our school community hugely.
Okay. Talk about some of those benefits that you've already found, even though it is early days.
Professional development. I think I'm getting to know the road between St Gilbert's and Ruskington quite well. But for all our staff, today we've got TAs in with a leader, having professional development. We've got, that Senko hub, we've got maths, there's so much going on. And actually when you bring all those highly skilled staff together, sharing ideas and developing further, that serves to show the strength of the trust, doesn't it? Yeah. And about how much it's about the children first, and this is why we're here, and we come together to do that.
So, are there things that you were really afeared of that actually did not come to pass?
Sometimes when you're going into the unknown, you'd come across a lot with the team. We'd got to know you, and I've known you for years anyway. But you're still stepping into the unknown. And I think for me as head, I wanted to make sure that I was able to lead staff knowledgeably. And I think that worried me, because I like to know what's 5 steps down the road, Yeah. And I wanted to be able to lead staff and reassure them and make sure that they were that buy-in, because actually there's so much to benefit from, and it's good for us to be able to look beyond the school gates and beyond the school windows and know what's out there and work with others. I think, again, I would say, it's my issue over control that I was really scared. And I can remember we sat down together and you said, Fran, you're going to find this really hard. And it is hard, but it's hard for a good reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know where we're going. I know where we're heading. I know that we're all on the same path. We're there for the same purpose. And things will move and shape and develop, And I hope we've become a really strong school for the trust.
I think there's no doubt about that. Do you still feel like the head of your school?
Yes, I do. I think it's about getting used to different systems. Sometimes you think, well, I would have just done that and that and that, but there's a different system because you're part of a bigger group, and there's decisions that have to be made by the central team to make sure that everything is moving smoothly. We can't just make decisions here, there and everywhere, can we, as individuals? But yes, I do. I think that's one of the strengths that will come to be even more strongly felt as we settle into the trust. At the moment, there's matters of change, but it's more about, once that's all settled, then it will be that we just, lead as normal. The children come to school in the same uniform. It's the same place. It's the same values. It's the same expectations, I would say even higher, so I don't feel as if someone is there making the decisions all the time. I make the decisions for the children with you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. What do governors feel? Because it's an awfully big change for them as well.
I think it's early days because we've got a new academy committee. It used to be board of trustees. I know that we've got three governors who were there previously, and that brings that history of good governance. And then we've got two new very strong governors who've joined us, and they bring a wealth of experience to the table. I think at the moment, when the trustees at the time were making the decision, it was a collective decision to move forwards. And so where we are now is that, we sit in that position where we all made the collective decision that this was the best for our children and the staff and community. It's about getting used to new ways of working because some of the decision making isn't the same. But they're completely on board.
That's good to hear.
And doing their training.
Well done.
Well done.
We do like them doing their training.
We do.
So what about your staff? You've got a large staff and they've been with you a long time because you've been really good at retention for all the right reasons. Yeah. So how have they felt the change?
I think they feel the change differently because they're in the classrooms, aren't they, or in the offices, and they've got different pressures, haven't they? Sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes there are frustrations. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's really good. We really like this. And I think it's about looking at keeping perspective. I've got a very positive thinking staff, they might say, oh gosh, this is a lot, but then we'll reframe that and we'll talk about it in a really positive way. So, they're on board. I think it's just managing change. Okay. I think that's what it's all about. And as we know with change, some people run towards it and other people just take a little bit more time.
They take a little more time. Have they enjoyed the CPD and the networking?
Yeah, they do. That's been we did a lot of work prior to joining the trust, but they do, and it's nice for them to get out and meet other people, in training. You did the unconditional positive regard training recently, which was brilliant, and our pastoral lead is just on it. It was just so engaged by it, and we've asked another member of staff to drive that because there's so many other elements of that already in place, but we're just going to harness it and enhance that.
Just codifies it,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
absolutely.
And ties in so beautifully with
Yeah.
church school vision and values.
Yeah, it does. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's about valuing our children and knowing them as their unique selves. But yes, they really do benefit from it. And I know that the webinars or what, they've really enjoyed those. I recently did the Safeguarding Spotlight that Diane recently did. And there was a huge conversation afterwards about, the implications of what was discussed, and some rich conversations. So yeah, they find it very beneficial.
And a job off your desk too, because Diane did it. We recorded the meeting of the heads briefing,
Yeah, and
then you show it to your staff.
Yeah, I just hitched a laptop up, and there it was. But it provided a way to have meaningful interactions and conversations with staff. On things that are so important.
So here's a tricky one. What if you had heads here that were part of your cluster who were not parts of a mat? What would you be saying to them?
I think when you're a good school, things are running well, staffing is great, standards are going well, the question might be, well, why? Yeah. But it's about not thinking about the now. It's about thinking about the future and that strategic development for your school. And actually, times are changing. All schools are under pressure, whether you're part of a trust or not. Yeah. But, where all schools are under financial pressure, numbers on roll. There's so many different things. And actually, I think it's thinking ahead of time about, okay, what will this school look like? What help do I need to get there? The benefits of working with loads of other professionals to support that strategic development. And collaboration is the key, isn't it? And so I would say you need to think about it strongly, or strongly think about it, whichever way that is. Think about it, don't be scared of it, don't fight against it. Says me. But, think about, like for us, the St. Gilbert's in 10, 15 years' time. Where do we want it to be? What do we want for our children? And actually being part of that trust has made it even more meaningful.
Thank you. Thank you.